Have you ever felt invisible in someone's life, even though you've poured your heart into loving them? You've given, sacrificed, and waited, yet they treat you as an afterthought, a fleeting option rather than a priority. It's a harsh reality, isn't it? But what if I told you there's a way to flip the script? A way to make him see you not just as someone in his orbit, but as the center of his universe. Here's the truth. Relationships aren't about chasing someone who doesn't see your worth. They're about making yourself so magnetic, so irresistible, that he can't help but prioritize you. No, this isn't about playing games or manipulating feelings. It's about understanding the subtle, transformative art of reverse psychology and stepping into your power with Dark Stoic Psychology, a mindset that combines emotional control, mystery, and self-worth to command respect and admiration. Most women believe that to win his love, they need to give more, care more, or be available more. But that's where the misconception lies. Overgiving dilutes your value. Constant availability makes you seem predictable. And pouring your energy into someone who doesn't prioritize you only leaves you drained and disrespected. The solution? A shift in approach. A powerful magnetic transformation. In this video, we're diving deep into 10 reverse psychology techniques that will make him prioritize you without you lifting a finger. By the end, you'll have a blueprint to not only win his attention, but also his admiration and love. Intrigued? Stay with me because the first step is a game changer. Rule 1. Create the fear of losing you. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you truly valued something that was always within reach? Think about it. It's human nature to take for granted what we assume will always be there. So why should your love and presence be any different? If you make yourself endlessly available, he'll subconsciously believe that your presence is a given. The fear of losing you doesn't even cross his mind because in his eyes, you're already his. Here's the twist. When you create the fear of losing you, everything changes. Suddenly, you're no longer just someone he texts when he's bored. You become the woman he can't stop thinking about, the one he can't imagine life without. But how do you achieve this shift without playing childish games? It starts with a mindset rooted in stoicism, an unshakable self-confidence and independence. Your world must revolve around you first. He must see that your happiness, success, and fulfillment don't depend on his attention or presence. Picture this. Your life is a thrilling, vibrant journey filled with your passions, dreams, and adventures. You're not begging for love, you're radiating it from within. When you embody this mindset, you naturally cultivate the fear of loss in his mind. Imagine him watching you thrive without him. The thought of not being part of your incredible life will eat at him. Your absence will leave a void that no one else can fill. This is the magic of Dark Stoic Psychology in action. It's not about manipulation. It's about demonstrating your value by owning your independence. But don't just stop at showing your independence. Take it a step further by being unpredictable in the best way. He should never feel like he can read you completely. One day you're sharing a heartfelt moment, the next you're focused on your personal goals with no time to spare. So it keeps him on his toes and craving your attention. Now what does this accomplish? It makes you the woman who adds immense value to his life, yet isn't afraid to walk away if she isn't treated as she deserves. He begins to realize that losing you isn't just a possibility, it's a devastating scenario he'll do anything to avoid. So how will you create the fear of losing you? Here are 3 practical steps to implement today. Diversify your life. Make your schedule so full of personal projects, hobbies, and passions that he realizes you're not waiting around for him. Have you always wanted to try something new like joining a painting class or starting a fitness journey? Do it. Your personal growth is your strongest allure. Set boundaries. Do not drop everything to accommodate his plans. If he wants to see you, he'll need to fit into your schedule. Be polite but firm. This isn't about being difficult, it's about showing that your time is valuable. Limit contact strategically. Sometimes let him miss you. When he reaches out, resist the urge to respond immediately. This creates space for him to realize how much he values hearing from you. Think about it. Who is more captivating? The woman who clings tightly to every interaction, or the one who lives so boldly that her absence speaks louder than her presence? When you create the fear of losing you, he'll see you as his ultimate necessity. Now let me ask you, are you ready to take control of how he sees you? Are you prepared to step into your power and let him realize that your presence in his life is a privilege, not a right? Stay with me, because what comes next will elevate this dynamic even further. Rule 2. Be willing to walk away. Imagine this scenario. You're in a relationship where you feel undervalued, constantly putting in the effort while he offers little in return. Deep down, you wonder if walking away would wake him up, but you hesitate, afraid that leaving might mean losing him forever. Sound familiar? Now let me share a secret with you. Your willingness to walk away is your most powerful tool in any relationship. Why? Because it demonstrates unshakable self-worth. When you show him that you're willing to let go if he doesn't step up, you instantly change the dynamic. You are no longer someone who settles. Instead, you become someone who commands respect and prioritization. This isn't about creating fear, it's about creating clarity. If he doesn't value you, you're prepared to move on, and that's an irresistible mindset. The question is, how do you convey this strength without coming off as cold or detached? First, embrace the philosophy of Stoicism, a state of emotional resilience where your happiness and stability aren't tied to anyone else. When you embody this mindset, walking away is no longer an act of despair. It becomes a statement of self-respect. Picture yourself as someone who knows her worth so deeply that she'd rather be alone than with someone who doesn't cherish her. Walking away doesn't mean slamming the door and never looking back. It means calmly and confidently stepping back when you feel unappreciated. You're sending a message that says, I value myself enough not to settle. And that message, it's intoxicating. It makes him realize the risk of losing you is very real and potentially permanent. But let's get practical. Here's how to execute this in your life. Set clear boundaries. Define what's acceptable to you in the relationship. If he crosses those boundaries, address it once, calmly and assertively. If the behavior continues, let him know you're prepared to step away. Don't threaten, act. Empty threats weaken your position. Instead of saying, I'll leave if you don't change, simply follow through when your boundaries are disrespected. Your actions will speak louder than words. Maintain composure. Walking away isn't about drama, it's about self-preservation. Stay calm, collected, and confident. This emotional steadiness is part of Dark Stoic Psychology, and it's incredibly attractive. Now you might be thinking, what if I walk away and he doesn't come back? That's where the true power lies. By being willing to lose someone who doesn't value you, you make space for someone who will. And here's the twist. When you truly embrace this mindset, the chances of him chasing after you increase exponentially. So why? Because people are drawn to those who know their worth and aren't afraid to demand it. This isn't about manipulation or playing games, it's about putting yourself first. And trust me, when you exude that kind of confidence, you'll notice a shift. He'll start showing up in ways he never has before. He'll prioritize you because he sees that you're not someone who will stick around for mediocrity. So, let me ask you, are you ready to walk away from situations that don't serve you? Are you ready to demand the love and respect you deserve? If you're nodding along, I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share your thoughts. Have you ever walked away from someone who didn't value you? Or are you considering it now? Your story could inspire someone else to reclaim their power. And don't forget, if this resonated with you, hit that like button right now. It's a small action, but it shows that you're committed to becoming the best, most magnetic version of yourself. Plus, it helps this message reach other women who need to hear it. Together, let's create a movement of self-respect and empowerment. Are you ready for the next step? Because Rule 3 is where things get even more intriguing. Stay with me, and let's continue unlocking the secrets of becoming irresistibly prioritized. Rule 3. Don't always be available. Have you ever noticed how the most valuable things in life aren't always within arm's reach? Diamonds, luxury vacations, Even rare moments of peace, they're treasured precisely because they're not always available. Now imagine yourself as that rare and precious thing. The moment you stop being perpetually available, you begin to exude a mystique and allure that's impossible to resist. Here's a truth that might sting. When you're always available, you risk becoming predictable. Predictability breeds comfort, but it can also lead to complacency. When he knows he can have your attention at any time, it becomes less special, less cherished. On the other hand, when your availability is limited, he starts to wonder about you, crave your time, and most importantly, value it. Think about this. If you respond to every message within seconds or rearrange your entire day to accommodate him, what message are you sending? That your time is endless and your world revolves around him. But when you're not always there, it creates a dynamic where your presence becomes a privilege, not a given. This isn't about playing games, it's about creating balance. Here's how to master the art of being strategically unavailable. Protect your time. Start by valuing your own time as much as you value his. If you're busy with work, hobbies, or self-care, don't drop everything just because he calls or texts. Instead, let him know you'll get back to him when you're free. This subtly communicates that your time is precious and cannot be taken for granted. Have your own world. Build a life so rich and fulfilling that he can't help but want to be part of it. Dive into your passions, pursue your goals, and enjoy your independence. The more vibrant your life is, the more intrigued he'll be by the world you've created for yourself. Delay your responses. While it's tempting to reply to his messages instantly, give yourself time. Not as a tactic to manipulate, but as a way to center yourself and ensure you're not over-prioritizing him. A slight delay adds an air of mystery and shows you're not glued to your phone waiting for him to reach out. What happens when you're not always available? A fascinating shift begins to occur. He starts to anticipate your texts, wonder about your schedule, and most importantly, put in effort to secure your time. Suddenly, your time together becomes a treasure rather than an expectation. This is where Dark Stoic Psychology comes into play again. By embodying emotional independence and valuing your time, you naturally create a dynamic where he sees your attention as something to be earned, not assumed. And let's be honest, people value what they work for. When he has to make an effort to connect with you, it deepens his appreciation for you. Here's the beautiful irony. The less available you are, the more he'll seek you out. He'll want to know what's keeping you busy, who you're spending time with, and how he can fit into your life. You become the fascinating puzzle he's eager to solve. But what if you're worried he might lose interest if you're not always available? Remember, the right man won't. A man who truly values you will be drawn to your independence and the unique, vibrant energy you bring to the relationship. If someone loses interest because you're not at their beck and call, then they were never truly interested in you, just the convenience of having you around. Imagine this scenario. Instead of waiting by your phone, you're out living your life, whether it's a coffee date with friends, an evening class, or simply enjoying a quiet night with a good book. When he reaches out, you respond when it's convenient for you, not immediately. The result, you're showing him that your life is full and fulfilling and he's lucky to be part of it. Over time, this practice becomes second nature. You're no longer overextending yourself to meet his needs because you've cultivated a mindset of balance and self-respect. And this, my dear, is what makes you magnetic. As you continue to embrace the art of being selectively available, you'll notice something remarkable. He'll begin prioritizing your time, not because you demanded it, but because you've shown him how precious it is. And when a man starts to value your time, he's one step closer to valuing you. Rule 4. Be costly, let him invest in you. Imagine this. You're holding a precious gem in your hands. It's rare, dazzling, and undeniably valuable. How would you treat it? Would you toss it carelessly onto a pile of ordinary rocks? Of course not. You'd handle it with care, admiration, and effort because its value demands nothing less. Now, what if you were that gem? What if the way he sees and treats you is directly tied to the effort he invests in having you in his life? Here's the secret. People naturally value what they've worked for. When someone invests time, energy, and emotion into you, they see you as a priority because they've put in the effort to earn your world. The more they invest, the deeper their attachment grows, and the less they invest, the easier it is for them to take you for granted. This doesn't mean you play hard to get or act unattainable. It means you give him the opportunity to show you how much he values you by letting him work for your affection and attention. So how do you make this happen? Set the standard. Start by setting a baseline for how you expect to be treated. This isn't about demanding or dictating terms. It's about knowing your worth and allowing him to rise to the occasion. When you exude confidence in your value, he'll naturally want to meet your standards. It's as though you're saying, "This is the level of effort I deserve, and I'm worth every bit of it." Give, but not too quickly. While it's tempting to shower someone with affection when you're interested, holding back just enough to let him reciprocate can make all the difference. This doesn't mean withholding love, but rather pacing your emotional availability so the relationship develops on mutual effort, not just your giving nature. Say yes strategically. When he invites you to spend time together, consider whether it aligns with your plans and priorities. Saying yes to everything can dilute your perceived value. Instead, agree to plans that respect your time and commitments. This subtly communicates that your presence isn't a given. It's a reward for his genuine interest and effort. Now, let's dive into the psychology behind this dynamic. Effort creates emotional investment. Think about it. When you work hard for something, whether it's a promotion, a goal, or even a relationship, you're more likely to cherish it. This principle, deeply rooted in human behavior, applies to relationships too. By allowing him to invest in you emotionally and mentally, you're ensuring that he sees you as someone worth his time and devotion. But there's another layer to this concept: the emotional balance it creates. When you allow him to invest, the relationship becomes a partnership rather than a one-sided pursuit. He feels proud of the effort he's made to win your affection, and you feel respected and valued. This mutual respect lays the foundation for a healthy, fulfilling connection. But of course, there may be moments of doubt. What if he doesn't make the effort? What if he pulls away instead of stepping up? These questions can feel daunting, but they're also revealing. If he's unwilling to invest in you, it's a clear sign that he doesn't see your true worth, and that's a reflection of him, not you. Remember, a man who values you will see investing in you as a privilege, not a burden. Here's the beauty of being costly. It doesn't make you difficult, it makes you discerning. You're not someone who gives away her time and energy lightly. You're someone who knows her worth and expects the same recognition from others. This mindset is not only empowering but also incredibly attractive. Picture him planning a thoughtful date because he knows your time is precious. Or imagine him going out of his way to support your goals because he sees your ambition and values your independence. These aren't grand gestures, they're reflections of the effort he's willing to put in because he sees you as someone extraordinary. When you let him invest in you, you shift the dynamic. Instead of chasing his approval, you invite him to work for yours. And in doing so, you cultivate a relationship where you're not just an option, you're the prize. So hold your value close, like the rare gem you are, and let him show you how much you're worth to him. Rule 5. Prioritize your own needs. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you truly put yourself first? Not in a fleeting surface-level way, but with a deep sense of self-respect and clarity about your own needs and desires. Too often we fall into the trap of prioritizing someone else's happiness over our own, hoping that this self-sacrifice will make them love us more. But here's the truth. When you put yourself second, others will follow suit. I think of it like this. You're the foundation of your own life. If you're not strong, secure, and grounded, everything else crumbles. Prioritizing your own needs isn't selfish, it's essential. When you show that your well-being, happiness, and goals are non-negotiable, you not only elevate your own life, but you also teach others how to treat you. And trust me, men find this deeply attractive. Now, you might be wondering, How do I prioritize my needs without coming across as distant or self-absorbed? It starts with a simple shift in mindset. You're not just in a relationship, you're still an individual with dreams, passions, and boundaries. By honoring those aspects of yourself, you create a dynamic where you're not dependent on his validation to feel complete. Here's how you can start prioritizing your needs today. Define your boundaries. What behaviors are acceptable in your relationships and what are deal breakers? Be clear with yourself about what you will and won't tolerate. When you set and enforce boundaries, you're sending a clear message. I respect myself enough to expect the same from you. Pursue your passions. Whether it's building your career, diving into a creative hobby, or traveling to places you've always dreamed of, make your goals a priority. Show him and yourself that your life is rich and fulfilling with or without his presence. Practice self-care relentlessly. This goes beyond spa days and bubble baths, though those are great too. It's about nurturing your emotional, mental, and physical health. Seek growth, embrace stoicism, and focus on your personal evolution. When you start living with this mindset, something incredible happens. He begins to see you as more than a partner. He sees you as a powerhouse of confidence and ambition. You're no longer the woman who bends over backward to accommodate his every whim. Instead, you're the woman he wants to rise to meet. This subtle shift is what makes prioritizing your own needs one of the most powerful steps in Dark Stoic Psychology. But let's be real. Sometimes this isn't easy. You might feel guilty for saying no or worry that putting yourself first will push him away. Let me assure you the opposite is true. When you prioritize your own needs, you cultivate a sense of independence and self-worth that draws people closer to you. It's not about being selfish, it's about being self-aware. Here's a challenge for you. Think about one area of your life where you've been compromised too much. Is it your time, your energy, your happiness? Take a moment to reflect and decide how you can start putting yourself first in that area. Then take action. The more you practice prioritizing your needs, the more natural it will become. And now I'd love to hear from you. What's one way you plan to prioritize yourself starting today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. It's a powerful step toward holding yourself accountable and inspiring others to do the same. If this resonates with you, hit the like button to affirm your commitment to prioritizing yourself. It's not just a click, it's a declaration that you're ready to put your needs at the forefront and create relationships that honor your worth. Together, we're building a community of strong, confident women who know that self-respect is the ultimate foundation for love. Stay with me, because in the next section, we'll explore how to maintain your independence and keep the mystery alive in your relationships. Trust me, it's a game changer. Rule 6. Don't make him the center of your life. Picture this: a star shining brightly in the night sky, radiant and self-sufficient. It doesn't rely on any other star for its brilliance. It simply glows, captivating everyone who gazes upon it. Now imagine yourself as that star. The moment you stop making him the center of your life, you allow your own light to shine, and in doing so, you become irresistibly magnetic. It's easy to fall into the trap of building your world around someone you care deeply about. You rearrange your schedule for him, prioritize his needs above your own, and without realizing it, your happiness starts to depend on his presence. But here's the paradox. The more you revolve around him, the less intriguing you become. He doesn't have to wonder about you or make an effort because you're already orbiting his world. The solution: shift the focus back to yourself. This doesn't mean neglecting him or ignoring the relationship. It means maintaining your individuality, nurturing your own passions, and creating a life that's exciting and fulfilling, whether he's in it or not. So when you have your own orbit, you naturally draw him into your energy instead of chasing after his. How do you start this transformation? Here are 3 key steps. Reconnect with your passions. What lights you up inside? Maybe it's a creative hobby, a fitness journey, or diving into a new career challenge. Dedicate time to these pursuits and watch how your sense of purpose grows and how he notices your vibrancy. Balance the dynamic. Instead of centering every conversation, plan, or goal around him, involve him in your world sparingly. Let him see that while you value the relationship, it's not the entirety of your life. Maintain your independence. Independence is intoxicating. When he sees that you're thriving on your own, it creates a sense of respect and admiration. You're no longer the woman who needs him to complete her. You're the woman who's complete on her own. This shift in perspective doesn't just benefit you, it enhances the relationship. You're no longer giving all of yourself away. Instead, you're sharing your rich, multifaceted life. And that balance makes you someone worth prioritizing. Rule 7. Stop starting the conversation all the time. Now let's talk about communication, one of the most subtle yet powerful aspects of any relationship. Have you ever found yourself constantly initiating contact, always being the one to text first or plan the next date? If so, you're unknowingly setting a pattern that puts you in the role of the pursuer. And in doing so, you might be diminishing his perception of your value. Here's the truth. When you're always the one reaching out, it sends the message that you're more invested in the connection than he is. While it's important to show interest, balance is key. If you're the one keeping the relationship afloat through constant initiation, he never has the chance to step up and show his interest. By stepping back and letting him initiate, you're creating a dynamic where he has to invest effort into the relationship. This isn't about playing games, it's about giving him space to express his feelings and priorities. When he's the one starting conversations or making plans, it shows that he values your presence and wants to connect with you. How do you make this shift without creating unnecessary tension? Try these strategies. Pause before responding. If you're tempted to send the first text or call, pause and ask yourself, can I give him the opportunity to reach out instead? Often he will if you simply wait. Focus on yourself. Instead of anxiously waiting for him to contact you, redirect your energy toward your own life. Dive into your projects, meet friends, or enjoy solo time. This not only takes the pressure off, but also makes you more fulfilled and interesting when you do connect. Notice his efforts. When he does initiate, acknowledge and appreciate it. Positive reinforcement encourages him to continue investing in the relationship without you having to push. Over time, this balanced approach to communication creates a healthier dynamic. You're no longer chasing him for attention or validation. Instead, you're letting the relationship unfold naturally, with mutual effort and interest. When he starts to wonder, why hasn't she texted me yet? Or, what's she up to? You've shifted the focus. He's thinking about you, making an effort to stay connected, and valuing your presence even more. The result? A deeper, more meaningful connection where you're no longer an option but a priority. Rule 8. Create your own happiness. Close your eyes and picture this. You're walking into a room, radiating joy and confidence. Your happiness isn't tied to anyone else, it's yours, self-made and contagious. People are drawn to you not because you're seeking attention, but because your energy is magnetic. That's the power of creating your own happiness. It transforms you into someone who isn't just wanted but needed. Here's the thing. Many of us grow up believing that happiness comes from external sources, a partner, a job, or material success. But that's a dangerous misconception. When you rely on someone else for your happiness, you hand over control of your emotional well-being. You inadvertently communicate that they're responsible for how you feel, which can create pressure and imbalance in the relationship. True happiness, it starts from within. It's about embracing the mindset of Stoicism, where you take ownership of your emotions, reactions, and fulfillment. You're not looking for someone to complete you, you're already complete. And when you radiate that self-sufficiency, it's impossible for him not to notice. So, how do you cultivate happiness from within? Here are 3 transformative steps. Invest in your passions. What sets your soul on fire? Whether it's painting, dancing, writing, or exploring new places, dive into activities that bring you joy. When you're immersed in your passions, you naturally exude confidence and positivity, making you irresistibly attractive. Prioritize self-care. Happiness often stems from feeling good in your own skin. Take care of your physical, mental, and emotional health. Exercise, meditate, eat well, and nurture your mind with empowering books or podcasts. A healthy, vibrant you is a happy you. Celebrate your wins. Too often we focus on what's missing instead of appreciating what we've achieved. Start journaling small victories each day, whether it's completing a task, trying something new, or simply having a peaceful moment. Gratitude shifts your mindset to abundance, which amplifies happiness. When you take these steps, something magical happens. You stop chasing happiness from external sources and start embodying it. And here's the twist. Your self-made happiness becomes incredibly alluring. You'll notice your contentment, your zest for life, and your refusal to depend on anyone else for fulfillment. It makes you stand out from the crowd. But what if he doesn't appreciate this new version of you? That's okay. The right person will be inspired by your joy and want to contribute to it, not control it. This is where Dark Stoic Psychology plays a crucial role. By staying grounded in your independence and self-worth, you attract not just anyone, but the right one. Here's your challenge. Take a moment to reflect on what truly makes you happy. Not what society tells you, not what your friends or family think you should do, but what sparks joy in your heart. Then make a plan to integrate more of those moments into your daily life. The happier you are, the more magnetic you become. Now, I want to hear from you. What's one thing you can do this week to create your own happiness? Share it in the comments below. Your ideas might just inspire someone else to take their own journey towards self-made joy. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to like this video. Let that click be your commitment to prioritizing your happiness, not for him, not for anyone else, but for you. And stay tuned, there's more wisdom to come in the next rule, where we'll dive into how to cultivate emotional balance that commands attention and respect. Rule 9. Maintain emotional balance. Picture this. You're the steady anchor in a stormy sea. While emotions rage around you, both yours and his, you remain calm, collected, and in control. This emotional balance doesn't mean suppressing your feelings or pretending everything is perfect. Instead, it means expressing your emotions with grace and composure, ensuring your needs are understood without creating unnecessary chaos. Why is emotional balance so powerful? Because it communicates confidence and self-awareness. When you can navigate your feelings with maturity, it shows that you're in control of your emotional world. This is deeply attractive because it creates a safe and stable foundation for any relationship. On the other hand, excessive emotional dependence or volatility can erode the respect and connection you're trying to build. If every disagreement turns into an emotional whirlwind or every unmet expectation feels like a personal slight, it can overwhelm the relationship. Emotional balance prevents this from happening by allowing you to respond thoughtfully, rather than react impulsively. So how do you maintain emotional balance while staying true to yourself? It starts with these core practices. Pause before reacting. When you feel triggered, take a deep breath and pause before responding. This gives you a moment to process your emotions and choose a response that aligns with your values rather than a reaction driven by temporary feelings. Express your needs clearly. Emotional balance doesn't mean bottling up your feelings. It means expressing them in a way that's clear and constructive. Instead of saying, "You never make time for me," try, "I value our time together and would love to plan something special soon." This shifts the focus from blame to collaboration. Own your emotions. Remember, no one is responsible for your happiness but you. If you're feeling upset or disappointed, take ownership of those feelings rather than projecting them onto him. This doesn't mean you can't ask for support, but it's important to approach the conversation from a place of self-awareness. Practice emotional independence. This ties back to the principles of Stoicism. By grounding yourself in your own emotional stability, you reduce the risk of becoming overly reliant on someone else for validation or happiness. This independence fosters mutual respect and admiration in the relationship. When you master emotional balance, you create a dynamic where your emotions are respected and taken seriously. He'll see you as someone who can navigate challenges with poise and handle the ups and downs of life with resilience. This doesn't just make you a strong partner, it makes you unforgettable. But emotional balance isn't just about handling difficult moments. It also enhances the good times. When you're emotionally secure, you can fully enjoy the joy and intimacy of the relationship without fear of losing yourself. You're free to connect deeply while maintaining your individuality. Here's an example. Imagine a disagreement arises. Instead of escalating it into an argument, you calmly share your perspective and listen to his. This approach diffuses tension and opens the door for meaningful resolution. Over time, he'll associate you with peace and stability, qualities that are rare and incredibly valuable in any relationship. Emotional balance also creates space for him to step up and meet you at your level. When you're steady and self-assured, he's more likely to reflect that energy back to you. It sets the tone for a mature, respectful connection where both of you can thrive. Ultimately, maintaining emotional balance isn't just about keeping the relationship on track. It's about honoring yourself. It's a daily commitment to choosing clarity over chaos, reflection over reaction, and self-respect over self-doubt. And in doing so, you become the kind of person he doesn't just want but needs in his life. Rule 10. Be willing to walk away. Imagine this. You're standing at a crossroads in a relationship where your needs aren't being met. You've tried communicating, compromising, and showing him your worth, yet his actions remain indifferent. What do? The answer is simple yet profoundly powerful. You walk away. Being willing to walk away doesn't mean you don't care. On the contrary, it shows that you care deeply about yourself, your happiness, and your self-respect. This act of letting go isn't about punishment or manipulation. It's about reclaiming your power and sending a clear message. I will not settle for less than I deserve. Here's why this is so effective. It shifts the dynamic entirely. As long as he believes you'll stay no matter what, there's no urgency for him to change or prioritize you. But the moment you demonstrate that you're willing to walk away, everything changes. Suddenly, he's faced with the reality that your presence in his life isn't guaranteed, and losing you isn't something he's prepared for. So how do you embrace this mindset without fear or hesitation? Start by understanding these key principles. Know your worth. Walking away begins with the unwavering belief that you deserve respect, love, and effort. When you truly internalize your worth, leaving situations that don't honor it becomes less daunting. Set boundaries. Clearly define what is acceptable to you in a relationship. If those boundaries are consistently crossed without remorse or effort to improve, walking away becomes an act of self-preservation, not revenge. Detach from fear. Fear often keeps us tethered to unhealthy relationships, the fear of being alone, of starting over, or of losing someone we care about. Embrace the philosophy of Stoicism here. Focus on what you can control, your actions and choices, and let go of what you can't, his response or behavior. Walk away gracefully. There's no need for dramatic exits or angry confrontations. Instead, calmly express your reasons and step back with dignity. This not only preserves your self-respect but also leaves a lasting impression. Here's the surprising part. Being willing to walk away often reignites his interest. When a man realizes he's at risk of losing you, it forces him to reevaluate his priorities. He begins to see your absence as a gaping void, a loss he can't afford. This is the core of Dark Stoic Psychology, a mindset that blends emotional strength with strategic detachment to command respect and admiration. But what if he doesn't chase after you? What if walking away truly ends the relationship? While this can be painful, it's also liberating. It means you've made room for someone who will value without conditions. Remember, the right person won't let you walk away, they'll step up to meet you. Walking away isn't just about relationships, it's about life. It's about choosing yourself when the world or a person tries to convince you otherwise. It's about refusing to stay in places where you're not celebrated. And it's about building a life so rich and fulfilling that anyone who joins it is an addition, not a necessity. Here's an exercise for you. Take a moment to reflect on your boundaries and your non-negotiables. Write them down. Then ask yourself, am I honoring these in my current relationships? If the answer is no, it might be time to have an honest conversation or take a courageous step back. When you're willing to walk away, you become the woman who commands attention, respect, and love, not because you demand it, but because you embody it. And that, my dear, is the ultimate form of power. Now that we've explored the 10 reverse psychology rules for becoming an irresistible priority in his life, it's time to take action. Each rule, whether it's creating the fear of losing you, balancing emotional availability, or prioritizing your own happiness, builds on the others to create a version of you that is radiant, confident, and unforgettable. These rules aren't about manipulation or games. They're about fostering healthy, balanced relationships that honor your self-worth and elevate your personal growth. You're not just seeking love, you're seeking the right love, built on mutual respect and admiration. Now, let's reflect. Which of these rules resonates with you the most? Which one do you feel inspired to implement today? I share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story could inspire someone else on their journey to self-respect and empowerment. And if you found this guide transformative, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Let's spread the message that every woman deserves to be a priority, not an option. Together, we can create a community of strong, confident individuals who know their worth. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Here's to you, the radiant, magnetic woman who's ready to captivate the world. You've got this.